SMT Nation, we back. I found this article and I want to pick it apart. So you guys enjoy this video as I kind of look at all angles of this article and offer you commentary from it. It's really about T-Mobile's 5G lead. As the CFO, the Chief Financial Officer at T-Mobile, says, it's a durable lead. And I want to question that premise. I want to take a look at all the numbers. I want to discuss Verizon and AT&T as competitors to T-Mobile's 5G lead. All right, so at the most recent Citi Communications conference, the CFO of T-Mobile, Peter Osvaldik, said that their customer-driven coverage and the ability to continue to drive industry-leading customer growth will be doing it in a profitable and accretive way. I want to make something very clear here. There's nothing wrong with that statement. Absolutely fine with it. It makes sense. He's the money guy. They're a company or corporation that's trying to generate revenue. Now, pretty much for the most part, the way that they're going to do this is to continue to try to grow the traditional mobile consumer base, try to get people on as many as the upper or premium tier plan, right, the Magenta MAX, and then they're going to try to deepen the customer relationship by getting more and more customers on the home internet, right? So modernize the excess capacity that's on the network, and the way that they create capacity on the network is by their upgrades, right? So they go to tower sites that are not fully modernized, and they add radios and antennas with all of their spectrum that they got from the T-Mobile Sprint merger, create that capacity, put their network in more places than before, so make their network larger, try to take share in the suburban and urban core, right, taking Verizon and AT&T customers, but then in the rural side of things, try to get some of those customers too, because at this moment in time, they've got most of the major cities upgraded, in breadth and depth. They've got a lot of the suburban parts updated as well. They're going to focus on rural now, right, adding retail, opening up stores, hometown heroes, those types of things. The problem is, folks, that even though that they do have a sizable 5G lead, right, being that they started building their network 2 years ahead of their competitors because of the Sprint merger, it was essentially their 5G stimulus package. But now that Verizon has their spectrum and AT&T has their spectrum, and more of it will come to those companies this year, essentially that 2-year jump is over. And now the other companies have all their assets and they're building to it. So with things like mmWave, C-band, and their network upgrades at AT&T and Verizon, you're just going to see T-Mobile's network lead shrink in terms of number of pops covered. Now, ultimately, T-Mobile's going to have to work really, really hard to change the perception about their network, right? There are still many people out there that are on AT&T and Verizon because their experiences with T-Mobile in the past or their understanding of the T-Mobile network has always been that, T-Mobile is unreliable or they don't have as large a network or whatever other, conception they have of the T-Mobile network and a company. That's hard to do. So they're going to continue to drive home that marketing, best network, best value. They've got the fixed wireless access piece now with 5G home internet. They're trying to take mobile share. So they're doing all this. Meanwhile, their competitors are closing the 5G gap. Right now, by the end of 2023, I expect Verizon to be neck and neck with what T-Mobile has. So if T-Mobile ends up with like 300 million pops of 5G UC with their N41, I expect Verizon to be within about 20 to 30% of that. I expect AT&T to be within about 40% of that. Right? Just looking at the way that the numbers are going, just looking at the speed and the pace of the build. At that point, folks, if AT&T is at 250 million pops, if Verizon is at 250, 260, 270, 280, there really is not a network advantage. Coverage is probably more important. Reliability is probably always going to be and always has been more important. Those are the types of things that I've said time and time again. T-Mobile should have been shoring up during this 2-year window, simultaneously with the capacity they've created to work on those things. And they have. A lot of sites have started to see the addition of backup generators, and backup power. trying to create a more secure network. They've been hacked 7,000 times. They pretty much get hacked 4 times a year. Although it hasn't been hacked in a long time, so hopefully I didn't curse it. And knock on wood, they don't get hacked for the sake of customers. But I just wanted to throw this out there that, saying that the 5G lead is durable, I mean, it doesn't really mean all that much. Maybe to people's perceptions it might. I think at this point in time when we're looking at the end of the year, and we're always a forward-looking channel, right? What we do here on the SMT, we look into the future, and of course we live in the now, and T-Mobile definitely has more 5G, pops covered, 260 million in the 5G UC, and 300 plus million in the N71, the 5G extended range. But like at some point very soon, these things just won't matter, right? What's going to matter at that point? You're going to have plenty of capacity on air. Are you monetizing? Are you rewarding shareholders? Are the customers happy? Have you reduced and held the churn rate? I mean, I will tell you, I think the most important thing for T-Mobile, when I'm looking at this thing here, right, it says here, T-Mobile US CFO sees a durable 5G lead. They stabilize their churn rate. That's probably the most important thing. They're keeping customers on the network and they're not leaving. That, to me, is probably more important than anything. Just having millions of pops of 5G doesn't do anything for you, right? But the stabilization of the churn, the continued organic growth, the fixed wireless access adds, now those are good things. A 5G lead, this is the perception game. Again, T-Mobile's 5G perception is 1% lower than it was 2 years ago. How important is 5G perception? It's not really important. Now, you may argue that it is because it's part of their marketing. But at some point, I mean, it's just about network experience. It's just got to be good, right? What do you guys think about this article and these components? What do you think about my take? I'd love to hear what you have to say about this. You all the voice of the people, the SMT Nation, let your voice be heard. Like, share, subscribe for more. Turn on the bell notification icon to never miss an upload. Links in the description for all things going on with the channel. Big shout out to the YouTube members and the Patreon supporters for making content on this channel possible. Y'all the goats, thanks for all that you do. And for everybody for watching, thank you. We shall see you soon on the next one. Peace.